Welcome to art, middle school art. We are going to be talking today about 5-minute drawings and why they are important and why we are using them in the digital art classroom in the same way that we would be using them if we were meeting face-to-face in person. So let's take a look at the kind of instruction sheet for 5-minute drawings, and I'll kind of talk you through each of those points, and we'll go from there. So here we see the document, the 5-minute drawing area. So what you want to know is that we want to keep all of our 5-minute drawings together in one section of your sketchbook. You should do them pretty small. They should be about 1/4 of a page or possibly even smaller. The goal is that you're spending 5 minutes a day drawing. So even if you are one of the people that like to do all of your art on one single day, I still ask that you still spend 5 minutes a day drawing rather than trying to do 25 minutes all at once. If you try to do 25 minutes all at once, you're going to get bored, your hand's going to get tired, you're not going to have fun, and you're not going to learn as much than if you just spend 5 minutes every day doing this practice. It's learning to draw is like learning how to do another language. You have to do it by practice, and you have to do it by practice over time. It can't just be like short bursts. It has to be sort of a continual drawing and continual kind of stamina building to be able to do good quality work. So it's important that you kind of spend the time and just take the time every day, find a spot in your day where it works. Maybe it's right after you get up, maybe it's right before lunch or after lunch, or maybe you want to do it right before bed. It doesn't really matter to me when you're doing your 5 minutes. It just has to be 5 minutes, and it has to be every day that we would have art. So if, obviously if you're on vacation, you don't have to do it. But don't judge your quality. I'm not worried about how good these are. I'm worried about that you are using the whole time. So you're spending 5 minutes of observational time and 5 minutes of drawing, and that you are kind of practicing and thinking about some of the skills that we're learning in the art classroom. So that is more important to me than like good drawings. Not important that they're good. It's important that you're spending the time doing it. So we do the 5-minute draws to help you build your drawing skills. And learning how to start a drawing. Learning how to start is actually one of the most challenging things artists learn how to do. So often we get kind of caught up in like, oh my gosh, I have this idea, but I don't know how to start it. And then you sort of just get paralyzed and you're stuck there and you don't know how to do it. Well, learning how to start and the fact that it's only 5 minutes means you're not going to be finishing these drawings. You're just going to be starting and starting and starting and starting. And pretty soon that repetition of like learning how to start makes it so that when you have your own ideas, you can jump in and just get going. Like you don't have to think about how do I start, because you know how to start because you've had all this practice. And that's one of the really great important things about 5-minute drawings. You also kind of learn different art styles, different historical periods. You take a look at art from different cultures, and all of those different aspects help you kind of figure out what is it that you like in the art world. There is something for literally everybody because every human being makes art. There is something that you will come to love and appreciate in the visual world because you've been exposed to lots of different things. So that's part of this too. And then also that you learn how to practice different kinds of art techniques. So you get to kind of try different stuff and see, maybe you really find something you really like, and then you want to pursue that in a choice project. And then just a note back on that, how to start a drawing, that's where this kind of comes in, this previous page of learning how do we actually start drawing, since I give you some steps on how to do that. And then here's how to actually do it. Okay, so the first thing is that you want to check your pacing guide and see what the 5-minute drawing prompt is for the week. You're going to have one prompt for the whole week. It's not going to be different every day, but you need to find a new image that fits in that prompt every week. So there's kind of a little trick there. And there's a few different ways that you can find an image or an object or something to draw from. So there's two kind of different categories that I've set up for 5-minute draws. There are drawings from observation and there are choice drawings. So the ones from observation, you have to be looking at something. You can't just draw whatever you want. You have to be looking at something. Sometimes you could be looking at a reference image that I have placed in the 5-minute drawing folder in Schoology. You can look at and explore the Google Arts and Culture app on your iPad, which is phenomenal. There are so many resources in there, and it's a great tool. Very easy to find something really quick that you want to draw. Without having to do a lot of extra work. And then you can also look at real life objects, real life photos, real life artworks. If you want to draw from life, you can totally do that as well. Or you can, let's say you have a piece of art on your wall that you really want to look at. Like maybe it's a movie poster from your favorite movie. You can totally look at that and draw that for 5 minutes. Totally, absolutely okay. Choice drawings though. And then that's the other category. So you can imagine and make up whatever you feel like fits the prompt. Or if you would like to go utilize one of those one of those observational sections, you can do that too. If you'd rather go use the art app, if you would rather, look at an real life object, if you want to look at your pet cat, whatever. So those choice weeks, the weeks that we have choice on what you're doing, you can draw literally anything that you feel like fits the theme. Just to kind of give you a sense of what this might look like when you're ready to do your 5-minute drawings. But my request is that if you are looking at one of my drawings, that you give it a label. So for instance, this was drawing number 12. And then you also need to put the date. So whatever date that you're completing the drawing. And what is going to happen with these 5-minute drawings is that you're going to put 4 on each page, spend 5 minutes one day, 5 minutes the next day, etc., etc. You're picking whatever topics you're wanting to do, and you get 5 points, or rather 1 point per minute of drawing. It's pretty obvious to me when you only spend about 30 seconds drawing and don't actually set yourself a 5-minute timer. As things move on, or as you get better at doing 5-minute drawings, you will find that you are able to complete more within that 5-minute time span. However, those drawing skills happen over time and they are not instantaneous. So, this student had lots of practice with this, but you will see that, if you're not as practiced, you may not have as many details in your 5-minute drawings. And then the goal with these is that you're setting a timer for 5 minutes and that you're moving your hand and drawing the whole time. Don't get stuck and pause and just really look at it, but then not actually draw anything. Look and draw at the same time. It's a little bit tricky, but it's something that over time you will learn how to do and you will get better and better at it. And the last thing is trust yourself. You can do this. It's totally possible and you're going to get really good.